Scorpio, welcome to your September 2021 general tarot reading. It's Raina here. So what happened was I had to pause your reading, and then when I came back, I erased all the videos I had. I had a couple, but I didn't remember that it was from earlier today. So unfortunately, I erased the putting out of the cards. I really hadn't gotten very much into the reading, so there wasn't much to begin with, so no biggie, but just want to let you know that. This is for the month of September, and the heart of the matter is the Lover's card, and this is a card that obviously can relate to relationships. The Lover's card is also connected to Gemini, and it's a card of a choice. Maybe you're at a crossroads and you have to make a choice about something. But one of the things that is coming up, not in September, but in November, is that there will be a lunar eclipse in your opposite sign of Taurus. So this will affect your 7th house of committed partnership. Of course, that's a general prediction. It's going to differ from person to person. But just in a general way, that's the 7th house, and that is the house of partnership. So a lunar eclipse can bring things to the surface that have been kind of like, the underneath, kind of like pushed down, and that can lead to good things sometimes because the people get more intimate, and that's really what the Lover's card is all about, is intimacy. And of course, they show nudity because that's one form of it, but ultimately the intimacy, I actually associate with the 8th house, which is the house that you rule, Scorpio, where it's about that real deal kind of thing. To me, the 7th house, yeah, that could be the marriage license, that could be that status as a couple, but not necessarily the behavior that goes along with it. To me, that's more of the 8th house. And so you're going to have, for those of you who have relationships, this will be a theme in the next year and a half, this issue of your relationship as it relates, or as it connects to or opposes you as an individual. And for Scorpio, this is going to be somewhat of a challenge, because either way, because some Scorpios may shy away from commitment, even though they're so intense, because they're scarred emotionally from past relationships that didn't pan out. So if you're a single person, this might bring somebody serious into your life, but it doesn't mean that you're going to feel comfortable about pursuing it. And it just may be this person that is perfect for you, but you have to get to the point where you can trust. And for people who are in relationships, they may find that their relationships are no longer viable and they can't hide it any longer. It's like a crisis point. And in the past position, we have the 8 of Cups. This is walking away, leaving what no longer serves you. And, Cups relate to Scorpio. I had made an observation that I was questioning whether this card was connected to Scorpio because of the 8th house and being water. And I still haven't, someone might have told me, and I might have forgotten if I looked it up. I can't tell you offhand. But the point is that the idea of really having your heart into something, whether it's a job or a relationship, is something that is, to me, of great importance, because a lot of times people just mail it in, and Scorpio is not a sign that's like that. You tend to be very well, I was going to say black or white, but I mean like extreme in your views, but extreme in terms of passion. Either you're passionate about something or you're indifferent. And maybe there are some Scorpios who are not quite like that. Not every Scorpio is the same, but I'm saying, what your sign represents is that deep commitment and intensity to emotional experiences. And if you're not feeling it, then I think that can be the one thing that motivates you to walk away. Also, if somebody's going through some kind of a spiritual journey or awakening, and I have said before that I think that it's not uncommon to go through multiple spiritual awakenings where you might have an initial one, but you have subsequent times when you are either like searching more, or you are having more downloads or things coming your way that guide you into certain belief systems and practices and things like that, teachers, books, those kinds of things. And so I can even see like that being traveling, going somewhere to learn some kind of spiritual, program or training. The higher message, the Tower card. And to me, this is what happens when people ignore what is inside of them. They kind of push it inside. So if they're in an unhappy marriage and they have to deal with the fact that something has to give. And I look at that Tower card as being part of that eclipse cycle. So keep that in mind. If you're like, oh no, I don't even want to think about altering my relationship. I'm not happy in it. But then if I do that, it's going to trickle down into all areas of my life. And it's too messy. And I totally get that, because I certainly have had that reaction myself with different things about like changing things in life. It just feels so messy. It feels so unpleasant to have to shift things. Sometimes you might be like grateful to do it, but sometimes if there's a lot of details involved, like, even moving house or something, you might not really want to still be where you are, but it's just like, ugh, I gotta pack, and I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to throw away these things, and I don't feel like I have the energy to do it. And so the devil, really kind of, I was going to say inspiring you, but really keeping you in that narrow field. And then the Tower comes along and it's a release, but you feel out of control with it because you did not initiate the action. It's coming from an outer place. And ultimately, I think that we do initiate the action, that it's kind of a built-in mechanism for things that we're supposed to experience in life, but it's much more pleasant if we are the ones choosing it, rather than just waiting for the outer world to just kind of happen, What crosses you is the Fool card. So that is that 0 point. That's the first card in the tarot, in the major arcana. And the 0 point doesn't have any kind of, it's something that's like a total field of creation. And it means that you have the ability to kind of imprint your blueprint. Well, I mean, I guess that would be kind of a contradiction, but you're able to maybe destroy the blueprint and create your own new timeline, if you will, or whatever you want to call it. If you just want to look at it in a more grounded way, you're able to chart your own course. You don't have to be reacting to life anymore. But you know what? Guess what? That's not all that desirable sometimes to people, because if they follow something tried and true, it feels safer. 0 point feels unsafe, because it's kind of like, if you go, I know this is kind of a mundane example, but if you've ever ordered something from Amazon, for instance, and there's no reviews, or eBay or something like that, and it's like, oh, I don't know if this is a reputable buyer or seller, I should say. I don't know if this person's reputable. They don't have like a reputation yet. And that doesn't mean that they're not reputable. It just means that it's kind of a little bit of a crapshoot. And if we tend to need that kind of guarantee about things that we're doing, then of course it's going to show up as wanting to have gravitating towards the tried and true rather than charting your own course. So think about that. Think about, if you want to be the captain of your ship, yes, you do have to trade guarantees for a sense of more freedom, a sense of more creative self-expression, but it may be completely worth it if you think about it. What is coming in? The Queen of Swords. This is, again, just like with the Lover's card, there is this element of choice, of a decision that has to be made. And yeah, I mean, this could certainly be something about whether or not you want to get divorced. If this is someone, and obviously not all of you are going to be going through that, but with the Eight of Cups, you may even be separated from this person. You may have taken a vacation separately to get your head together, but you still haven't made that final decision. And if the Eight of Cups resonates with you, what I said about this, maybe not feeling someone anymore, and that's sad, because people are not expendable. They're not like, you can't switch, you can't replace one person with another. They're not replaceable. So the point is that sometimes we don't have that connection with somebody for a lifetime, and that's just how it is, for whatever reason. And if you insist, oh no, I have to have this relationship with somebody for a lifetime because you're trying to prove to yourself something, I think that it could be barking up the wrong tree, and that's just my personal opinion. It's not a fact. Only you can determine whether that's true for you, but some people, they do seem to be very, what I would call, stubborn about it, where they don't want to admit to themselves that they simply have shifted in their feelings for a significant person in their life. Maybe they think that I think a lot of times fixed signs like Scorpio, the fixed signs are Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, and Leo. They pride themselves on being steadfast, and when they're not, when they change eventually, because everyone has the capacity for change, then they feel that somehow they didn't try enough, or that they were being fickle in some way. And that couldn't be further from the truth. So don't act like that. If there's something, this could be a job that you're not feeling anymore. Maybe at one time it was different, but there might have been other circumstances within that scenario that have changed also. maybe your coworkers are not there and you're with people that you don't really resonate with, or your boss has changed. So many factors can change over the course of time. The Queen of Swords is not the King of Swords. So the Queen of Swords is making a decision, and she knows what her feelings are. She may even use her intuition to guide her, but ultimately, she's using her intellect, because she's looking at the situation logically. She's saying, is this wise? Does this make any sense? Should I continue just to have that sense of continuity when I'm not emotionally connected to this situation anymore? And she knows that doesn't make any sense, that the physical life is temporary. So even if somebody decides that they're going to stay in a marriage that is loveless, at this point, maybe your children have grown up and you've grown apart, and you're still going to stay because you're going to try to prove that you're not a flake, that you're committed, that you're loyal to something. And it's like one day, that situation will be over with, because your life will have ended in the physical sense. And you're going to have hopefully a lot of days left between now and then. And if that's how you want to spend those days, then that's your choice. But that doesn't make sense to me personally. But everybody has their reasons for doing things, right? The outcome is the Knight of Pentacles. This is a very practical card. This is associated with Taurus, your opposite sign. So either the timing of look to the month before the eclipse, which would be mid-October, and the month after the eclipse, going into 2022, and see what transpires. So we can say at the end of 2021, there might be some trigger to a relationship. If you decide not to do anything, that may happen regardless. But this also, like for work situations, can be that you're just going to put one foot in front of the other, and you're going to work. You're not going to necessarily waver from your routine right now. And it could be because you have a strategy in place. Maybe you have decided you're going to save your money. You're not going to go out and eat between now and the end of the year, and you're going to save your money so you can, when you do leave, you can leave with a sense of having a little bit of padding. That's just a hypothetical, but this is a card of wash, rinse, repeat when it comes to practical matters. So if that's your main concern and that's what your choice has to be, you may delay what the Eight of Cups represents for a little while. And, we are getting into the holiday season before you know it. And that, for certain types of industries that some of you may belong to, that may mean that you feel like a sense of having to help with that demand or what have you. So you're going to, continue. And this is a card of a good work ethic, So anyway, let me pick one more card just for clarification's sake and see what it says. I have the Four of Pentacles. So that is a card of holding on to your money, managing your money very well. So that might be like a chief concern of yours right now, is bringing in the money and being able to, keep it, not having it being spent here and there. So that might be your choice. But in any case, I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, I do a lot of astrology readings. I also do private tarot readings as well. You can find me at rainamoonastrology.com. The link is below. Take care. Bye.